Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of ISM Radio. I'm your host, Gage, and I have the pleasure of sitting here tonight at Oheka Castle for our ISM Executive Networking event, and we have DJ Chef in the house. Welcome.
Let's go. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no doubt, man. This is awesome. Glad you're here. So love the website, love what you're doing. And we talked a little bit earlier, so we touched upon, how you get started in this. I mean, was it DJing first? Was it a chef first? You probably get asked that a lot.
Yeah. Common question, and I'm trying to keep it short. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll give you guys the short version. Real simply, I got a pair of turntables for my 15th birthday. I taught myself how to DJ. I started dragging them to local parties and stuff, got hired by the local hangout. And simultaneously, I got a job with a caterer because, the DJing was pretty much on the weekends. So I got like a weekly job with a caterer. I learned how to cook. And this owner kept like pushing me to go to culinary school and pursue cooking as like a career.
Right.
And after like a year of this, her saying this, I just showed up in restaurant school, did no research. I just enrolled, and I got right into it. They give you your uniform, your tools, and it really gave me that little direction that I needed at the time. So I got right into it. I got a job downtown Time Cafe. I went through the whole fine dining circuit. I was a sous chef for Bobby Flay, and
nice.
Yeah, and then that really burned me out. So I got a job as a corporate chef Monday to Friday, and I had the weekends free. So I started doing these dinner parties on the weekends, and it was great. It just kept snowballing. But after doing it for a little bit of time, I thought to myself that it could be a little leveled up a little bit. Like the energy's real low. People just drinking wine and eating. So I don't know. I just thought to DJ while I was doing the dinner party, and boom, it just turned into this whole cooking party. I started teaching a little bit, and I created this cooking class party. I called myself DJ Chef. And, within a month or two into it, Food Network calls me. They're like, DJ Chef, this is amazing what you're doing. We want to feature you on a show called What's Hot, What's Cool. They come to one of my parties, they film it, they put their seal of approval on it, and it was just on after that. I ended up appearing on MTV, DJing and cooking behind Lindsay Lohan for MTV Spring Break special. I did a full episode of The Party Planner with David Tutera, who was like the top celebrity event planner at the time. And so the private parties, really picked up. I was doing a lot of those. And then what happened was corporate started calling me. So, I was like, that's a lot of people to feed 200-300 people. So I changed the format where I DJ the event and I serve up a little tasting simultaneously.
Nice.
And that took me all around the country and beyond. Crate and Barrel booked me for the anniversary party in Dubai. I was there for a week.
That's awesome.
Did like 3-4 events for them. Not only corporate events, so I do food festivals or any like food and wine kind of event, DJing, cooking, I MC, and I also do trade shows. I just got booked to do the fancy food show at the Javits.
Nice.
On stage, hosting the culinary stage all 3 days. And I just found like as far as social events, niche in the Hamptons, I'm kind of out there all year round. Actually, I do all the bachelorette parties out there. I do special birthdays, and I'm breaking into other areas out there as well with, real estate events, open house events, and art exhibits. I just did an art exhibit last week. That was a first.
Very cool.
And I blew out of the water.
They loved it.
It was insane. Yeah, the energy was unreal. Everybody was having a good time. I was cooking up. I do this Hampton water spiked shrimp paella.
Okay.
I call it a little Southampton sauce, a little like lemon and garlic aioli over the top. And they were just having a great time with the food, the music. And, it really could fit any event. I'm pretty flexible on the formats, what I'm cooking, the music, kind of make it, curated for, if it's a theme. And whatnot.
Well, you're bringing the best of both worlds together. So who doesn't like food and who doesn't like music? You're really bringing, something that everybody loves.
That's what David Tutera
to
said
the mix
in the opening of the party planner. He was like, food and music are two main
ingredients in anybody's life.
Any party, any event is two, most important things is the food and music.
Right. So give me an idea. Let's put some music together with some food and say, you're at an event, you're at a bachelorette party, you're at a Hamptons, you're mixing music. How you kicking it off? You kicking it off with some house music? Where you going? How you starting it out?
Yeah, as far as the music goes, I'm an old school DJ in the sense that I read the crowd.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You have to.
You know, bachelorette party, girls are in their 20s. You know, you trying to like, you're obviously gonna play the new stuff that's trending, but
Sure.
you kind
Because
of
they want cool.
You want to dig back into their glory days, the high school, the college. You know, so you kind of right now like 2010s. You know, is very popular with them. You know,
Right.
so you want to dig back into that. So I do a lot of 40th, 50th, 60th birthdays, classic disco,
Yep.
classic house stuff, freestyle,
Yep.
the party rap, you know.
Yeah, you were involved in Westbury too, right?
Yeah. I kicked off all the wildly popular freestyle
We
shows
were just
now.
talking about Brian Rosenberg and the
Yeah.
event over there, right?
Yeah, I did the first like I don't even know 10 shows with them.
And we even gave DJ Razor a plug in there because we all
Ray's
know
is the man. Yeah,
you know, absolutely. So, how did you get into? So you went to culinary school, you got DJing, you did it all, but putting it all together and taking it, you know, it's a lot of work.
it is.
Traveling around and doing it, so you had to
Yeah.
simplify
Yes.
what you're bringing equipment wise, because now you're getting on planes, you're going to Dubai.
Yeah.
You know, you can't show up with a coffin with two 1200
No.
turntables in there anymore. So give me an idea of what you're doing. You're not using Serato, you're MP3ing it off of the USB sticks
yeah.
and doing it that way. So give me an idea of the equipment and what you show up with and what you
Yeah,
how the vibe gets created, speakers, everything. You know.
Yeah, so locally, you know, anywhere I could drive, you know, I'm from, like I said, the Hamptons down to Philly, as north as Saratoga.
Okay.
You know, so, you know, a full-size truck, you know, Mercedes Metris, everything fits in there nicely. So I have tables, I have my, you know, that's like my setup. I use Pioneer CDJs,
Yep.
mixer, so it's like a 4-foot coffin. I roll with that. And then the menu, you know, it's I send out like a menu selection sheet. It's just like I call it like the greatest hits, you know, of signature dishes that I know work for like a large group.
Right.
So you have like different different proteins and components that go together. You know,
How do you do the cooking?
yeah.
I mean, so the music's playing,
Yep.
music's going, and now you're doing the cooking. How is the setup for the kitchen? Is it a mobile setup, or are you using what they have there? Do you show up with the same stuff every time?
No.
'Cause that's got to be hard.
Yeah, you want to keep it not cookie cutter, but you want to, you know, keep it streamlined. So yeah, so most of these kitchens have like the big island. It's the open, you know, kind of setup now. So like if they have that dream island on there, I just set up right on that. If they don't, or if the island's too small, I have like a 4-foot table that lights up, and we'll put the coffin right on that.
Right, so
I
that's where
can
the
make
music
So I
goes.
can make like an L. So I'll have the DJ set up right in the kitchen area, and we're cooking, jamming, dancing. You know, I have, you know, some up lighting that I use that really, you know, I come in. That's the first thing I do, adjust all the lighting.
Yeah, that's
you know,
important.
so 'cause
Sure.
you come in and it's like a cafeteria. I'm like,
Yeah,
so
kill those.
Yeah, so I come
kill
in,
the fluorescent lights. Yeah,
and
right.
I get my up lighting going. The
Good.
colors are changing throughout, so that sets the vibes. And you know, I have different formats for each kind of events. You know, the bachelorette party is like its own, you know, performance there. Birthday party is similar. And what makes it unique and interactive is I call like the birthday honoree up with me, and we do a little cooking show together. It
Oh,
kind
cool.
of kicks off the party. After
Yeah.
dessert, I do my signature dessert. It's called the chocolate banana dream. You know, I got them whipping the eggs, and I'm
I
putting
show
the
you
Diva
squirting the
whip it.
sauce over their head.
Yeah, the milk. Like, so the milk, I go over their head.
Yeah,
We're
that was
cracking
cool.
the eggs.
Yep.
And, you know, that really just gets everybody comfortable and into it. And then they see how I operate a little bit. And then, like, after that, the party's just smooth. Everyone's having a good time. And, you know.
And how does the stuff get served? Because obviously you're making stuff there, right? So it's
Yeah. So I like to play it a la carte, restaurant style.
okay.
You know, I have at least one event assistant with me to help serve and tidy up as we go. And, you know, larger events, you know, 2 assistants, sometimes a roadie, you know, sometimes we have 3 events a day.
Right.
You know,
Right.
especially in like Long
Bouncing
Island.
around in the Hamptons.
Yeah. It's
Not a bad life.
yeah. It's like 3 party times, 1 to 4, 5 to 8, 9 to 12. So, yeah. So like some of those summer weekends, I have another roadie that's bringing everything in, setting it up, breaking it down for me.
All right. So what's going on summertime now? This is it. This is the Hamptons are
It
going to
is-
blow up
it
now.
is
So
on. These next 2 weeks are insane.
that's it. So give us a little rundown of what
So,
you're going to do.
Yeah. It's a lot of bachelorette parties and birthdays and social events in the Hamptons. And in between that, I'm doing like Taste of West Hampton Beach. Doing the Chefs of the Hamptons with Dan's Papers on July 17th.
Nice.
at CC Restaurant. That's going to be amazing. I'm excited looking
Dan's
for that.
Papers has been out there forever.
Yeah, and
Forever.
they've been doing these Dan's Taste events. So I finally linked up with them after a couple of years of trying to connect with them.
Cool.
So excited about that. And then Dockers, I did a Memorial Day kickoff party. It was so successful. They have like a little stage, you know, in the food truck area. So now we're doing a July 4th weekend kickoff party Thursday night,
Nice.
sunset, you know, 6 to 9. I'm excited about
Perfect
that.
summertime
Yeah.
vibe.
I'm hosting the stage at the Fancy Food Festival at the Javits Center
Okay.
at the end of June. It's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Super excited about that.
We're going to have to get you to Javits Center in January for the New York Boat Show. I'm there 5 days podcasting.
The boat show.
I got to get. Yeah, it's
right.
it's unbelievable. And they have a chef there. Like they have somebody doing that. I got to get you there.
Yeah.
I'm being serious.
Yeah.
We're gonna hook that. We're gonna hook that up.
We'll
I'm gonna put you in touch with the right people.
I love the boat crew.
Yeah.
And then I have my charity events. I do all John Starks events. We're doing the John Starks Foundation.
Nice.
It's a casino and cigar night at Mutton Town Country Club. That's coming up June, I think, 18th. I do Marty Lyons Foundation, Celebrity Golf Classic. That's also I think that's July. And that's going to be at the Westbury Country Club.
Okay.
So we do that. And at the end of the summer, I do Encourage Kids Foundation, Serving Up Smiles in Manhattan. That's another great event. So, you know, it's just a nice mix of social events, corporate events, and charity events. So, you know, it's never dull for me.
No, absolutely. Listen, it's never dull in the DJ and food industry, you know. So
on its own.
Right. So now what's the best way for people to get in touch with you? People that are watching this now that had no idea that this was even going on, how do they get in touch with you?
The quickest way, obviously, is on my website, djchef.com. If you're interested in an event or have a date, you know, just go to the booking page, and then it has all the information that I need.
That's it. Fill out the form.
Yeah, to send you the correct information, you know, because otherwise it's a back and forth, you know, of me asking the questions.
Yeah,
so
and there's a lot.
I love to just get the form filled out.
It's a great website. It's got great videos. They can go and see what you do and see what you're doing. You know, like now we're talking about it, but they'll be able to see it.
Yeah, so that's how I formatted the website. It has every category, you know, adult birthday parties, the bachelorette parties and bridal showers. I do some kids parties too. I created the in-home mitzvah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, they rent houses in the Hamptons for like the night, and they do a sleepover.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
What are you cooking for those kids?
I do my mac and cheese remix.
Oh, dude, I'm coming. That's it. I'm coming to the next bar mitzvah.
Yeah, it's like you know, I do like a sophisticated pasta, like a penne rigate, and then some thinly sliced chicken, and then some sneaky zucchini noodles. Little sneaky nutrition.
Yeah, you sneak
and then
it
I make it like a
because
healthy.
you know they want chicken nuggets. You know they want that, but you give them a zucchini instead. I love it.
When the kids are saying I want seconds, that says something.
No,
you know?
absolutely.
Yeah. So like, you know, they have like that chemical cheese sauce. So I make like a healthier like cheese sauce with fresh Parmesan cheese.
Nice.
And they love it. Yeah, they love it.
Yeah.
And then my signature dessert that I do at every party. So you have the social events all broken down, and then you have the large scale events broken down.
Mm-hmm.
Regular corporate events, trade shows, food and wine festivals, and charity events. So, you know, you can see a video, some referrals, and some photos in each category. So, you know.
So you mentioned wine festivals. Do you do anything out of the wine industry, you know, the wine country out here on Long Island? Because you got a lot of wineries here.
Yeah. You know, I've kind of come across, you know, some conversations with wineries, but nothing's really, you know, transpired. But I'm on the North Fork with the bachelorette parties all the time, in Greenport. You know, Manitowoc, I'm in a lot, but
Greenport's great.
Hey, wineries, if you're interested.
Well, that's why we're doing this. That's why I bring it up.
I mean, you know, because I have that Sunday day is kind of like a little slower, so you know, I always.
That's the perfect winery crowd out there. I think
that's a good time for that. You know, what I mean? So I always had that in the back of my mind. You know, it'd be perfect just to do like maybe a public bachorette party.
Because you see those buses pulling up. They have crowds going in. All they're missing is a DJ and a chef.
Yeah.
And we got DJchef.com.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense, wineries.
So there you go.
Give me a call.
North Fork of Long Island, ready to blow up.
But also on social media, like my Instagram is kind of like where it all happens too. You know, we're constantly posting stories live from events.
Right. Doing live events.
And, you know, and you can interact, obviously. So my Instagram and social media handle is at DJ Chef Rocks. DJ Chef was taken at the time. So I was, and everybody always says, you rock, you rock. So I was like, all right, DJ Chef rocks it is.
That's it. You're rocking DJ
Yeah.
Chef. So you also have djchefrocks.com, which all
Yeah.
goes back to djchef.com. It all
Yeah.
goes back to the same place.
Yeah.
But for the Instagram and the social media handles, it's DJ Chef Rocks.
Yeah.
That they should.
And I have
look
like
up.
the blue
And
check.
they'll find you.
Yeah, I have the blue check mark on all of them. So,
Yeah, he's
'cause, like,
he's verified.
well, a lot of people use the name, like DJ, like some DJs just call themselves chef. I guess it's, chef is would be a cool DJ name. I get it. But,
Yeah, I had no
If
problem
you- if
searching on Google. It came right up.
no, it comes up. Yeah. Google knows.
So I'm telling you,
actually,
I
the
looked.
AI knows too. Like
Yeah.
if you punch in like DJ Chef Hamptons or something, like AI gives you the whole breakdown. Like,
They're telling everybody what you're doing.
It gets my whole once over. It's amazing. Yeah. I'm blown away by that.
So type them into ChatGPT. You hear that, guys?
Yeah. AI will tell you what's up.
Absolutely. So that's what's happening in the summertime.
Yeah.
What else do you do throughout the year? I know you travel around because
Yeah.
you're not just here on Long Island.
No, I travel, worldwide. Like I said, do a lot of the festivals happen, fall festivals and all those winter type of events. I travel, it's random, like for corporate events and stuff. I mean, I've been in Laguna Beach for a PayPal event at one of the resorts there, Ritz-Carlton.
Okay.
It was great. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
that
I
was
can-
a great event. And they had like food theme kind of events, like challenges and stuff. So that was really cool. The bachelorette parties, you get like those remote locations and like they want to be like, in the flannels, kind of like up in the Catskills and
Right.
all that stuff.
Right.
So yeah, up to Saratoga, a lot of different locations, but I'm still in the Hamptons too in the winter, believe it or not.
Yeah, no doubt. There's a lot
Yeah.
of stuff happening.
People come
have-
from all over the country to go to the Hamptons.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like a destination.
absolutely. I see the planes going over the Sound
Yeah.
every day. And if you look at where they're going, they're all going to the Hamptons from New York City and from, Teterboro and all the local airports. They're all heading out to their houses
Yeah,
in the
like
Hamptons.
February, we like to do the South Beach Food and Wine Festival. Also, that's actually became I did it the first couple of years, and then I was like, yeah, it's a lot of work. We should just make this our vacation. Me and Sonia go. We take the week. We go to all the events. So it's like a little work and play.
Right. You get to vacation
Yeah.
and work at the same time.
Yeah. Because that festival's massive.
So now you do all these festivals, you do all these
Yeah.
events, you're bouncing around, you're all over the place. But if you could hone in maybe on something that, like we just mentioned, the wineries, what would be an ideal that you're looking to do or get into that maybe people are overlooking to have a DJ and a chef there for some sort of an event?
That's a good question. I've kind of done every type of event, but I mean, I like to be around like the big events, like Super Bowl parties,
Right,
like
right.
Grammy parties, that I think that's the ultimate goal for me.
All right, we're going to
like,
connect
do,
you with
like-
somebody that's on the podcast,
Yeah.
John Anthony, A1 VIP events. We're going to put
No,
you in
I
touch
know
with John.
John. I
You
know
do.
John.
I see. I knew you did.
He's at like all the golf outings. That I
He
do.
was just
Yeah.
at the Stanley Cup game the other night. I see
Yeah.
him and he's posting his video. Yeah, John's great, but he has those connections.
Yeah, for any entertainer, I think, like those major events is kind of like where you're on Formula One, all like the major
Right.
events,
Right, absolutely. Super Bowl, all
Yeah,
that fun stuff.
yeah.
Those Super Bowl parties. Well,
That's
you already know Greg Buttle, so that's
Yeah.
that's your connection to the Super Bowl. He'll
Yeah,
get you there.
Yeah, long suffering Jet fan.
Yeah.
I went to Joe Namath football camp. when I
No
was
way.
16.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
One of the guys in my office actually played for the Jets, so it's back in the day, and it's it's great. It's here on Long Island. I loved when they practiced
At Hofstra, yeah.
At Hofstra,
That
that's when
would-
people got to go watch them and see
That-
them up close and personal.
Those teams didn't win, but those were great days.
Those were the best, even though they didn't
we
win.
were right there. That
Yep.
defensive line, sack exchange. That's good time.
Yep. So we're here at Oheka Castle for the ISM Executive Networking event. You guys got to meet DJ Chef and hear about all his great stories and what he did to get started in the business, how he fused DJing and cooking together, which, we like to say you're the only one, that's really doing that. There's not too many people out there that are, unless you have copycats, which I'm sure we have in any industry and business.
There, a couple pop up here and there, but
Yeah.
it's tough to figure out.
But
It's
you
tough to do,
you were the creator.
Yeah.
You kind of,
No, it feels good to just be unique and be the only one that does something. So,
Absolutely.
I wear that as a badge of honor.
Yeah, and you should, which is why I bring it up because
Yeah.
it's something you should be very proud
Yeah,
of.
marketing and marketing people love me.
Because me and you talked about earlier, like today's DJs, where it's at and where the industry's at. These kids don't know what it was like to carry milk crates of records down the stairs, up the stairs on hand trucks to get in.
You had to be committed. You had to be committed to it.
100%.
You can't just pop up and say I'm a DJ because I have a laptop.
No. And now everybody with Serato and the beat mixing and half the stuff was done for them in a lot of these programs. So there's still an art to it, which we appreciate.
Yeah.
I mean, and reading the crowd, that's one of the hardest things for a DJ to do.
You're really being paid to entertain,
Yes.
No one cares about your mixes.
No,
I mean, maybe in your car and stuff, like I appreciate some of the stuff that I see and hear. But when you're at an event, you got to entertain.
You got to take the party from here and you got to take it to here.
My number one compliment is wow, he's got great energy. He comes with the energy. I keep hearing that, but I don't know. I get the energy from the people, and
you vibe off of that.
Vibes, yeah.
Yes, you have to.
So, that's. I think you just have that, or you don't.
Well, that's what makes you great at what you do, and obviously you love what you do. You're very passionate about it, and fusing two things together kind of made it like there's longevity there. That it's not just one thing; it's always going to be.
Yeah, and you have to constantly evolve. You have to grow. You have to learn from what didn't work or what you can do better. Like when I'm doing a party or an event, there's certain bars that I want to hit. There's certain, things that I want to get done and accomplish throughout the party. You know what I mean? So, and if I don't hit all those marks, I'm not happy with it.
Right. Now, tell me a little bit about, speaking of marks, tell me a little bit about one or two of your signature dishes or the signature desserts, because I know that's, that's the highlight. You love doing that stuff.
Yeah. I worked for Bobby Flay early on. I worked at Coyote Grill in Allen Park, and I've been around, Spanish cooking my whole life. So, that's a little bit influence. Like the bachelorette parties, the entrees, quesadillas, so I do like a slow roasted chicken, roasted vegetables, a cheese blend. And, instead of just like throwing in a tortilla, I kind of get this crust on it, throw like a layer of cheese down and then the tortilla, then the fillings, and like it has this crust. So like when you cut into it, you get like
that crispy
crunch, which, that's like
came from the cheese on the grill first.
A little bit of an X factor. Yeah. And I have like two sauces that I make that I kind of go over it with. And then this year I added the quesadilla.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like the burrito taco.
You fuse that together.
Yeah. So same style. Just with that, I use brisket.
Okay.
So that's just like one of my favorite cuts of meat. So I use that in my for burrito, and it's definitely next level. So that, and then like for like private parties, I do a steak dish, grilled steak with caramelized onions, demi-glace. I do these garlic smashed potatoes. I leave the skins on. It gives it a little more consistency.
Cool.
Parmesan asparagus.
Okay.
So that's like one of my favorite dishes to make.
Are you guys getting hungry or what? Yeah. Just listening to this, you're getting hungry.
Everything bagel crusted salmon. Yeah, so I have a lot of dishes in the rep. I think every dish on my my signature dish selection sheet is hits the spot. But that's that. And then for the Hamptons, I'm doing a lot of these tasting events. So I just developed this Hampton Water Rosé spiked shrimp paella.
You mentioned that earlier.
Yeah. So I take the shrimp, saute it, shallots, garlic. I hit it with the Hampton Water Rosé, let it reduce down, and then I tighten it up with a little butter. We serve that over like a flavorful Spanish rice with the roasted vegetables. Same roasted vegetables I use for the quesadillas. I chop them up fine, let it cook into the Spanish rice. We serve that shrimp over it, and then I hit it with my Southampton sauce, which is like this lemon and garlic aioli. So it gives a little creaminess on the finish. The gold forks I sticking up, serve it up in these clear like square dishes. I'm gonna be doing that all summer.
See, it's all about it's all about presentation. So
Yeah.
after you cook it, it's all about presenting it. You mentioned the gold fork and the way it comes out.
Yeah,
That's just as important.
yeah, that's key.
It's gotta look good.
And I'm sauteing the shrimp up right there, so you're getting the smell when you come up. And the Hampton Water Rosé, I think, puts it over the top. I could have used the cheap white wine, but you're in the Hamptons.
That's it. There's nothing cheap in the Hamptons.
Yeah, there's nothing cheap. You
Can't
gotta,
chintz
you
out.
gotta go all out.
You got
and
4-star.
And they just drink rosé all day out there. So
Yeah.
that just put it over the top, I think.
All right. Well, If you guys aren't hungry, I don't know what you're listening to, because I'm starving over here listening to him. I'm ready to go back into the kitchen with him. Let me whip me up one of those cool little quesadillas that you made. I'll even take the kids macaroni and cheese at this point. You know, that's a bar mitzvah at another level.
The parents eat that too. Like they're eating it too for sure.
At
those parties,
yeah. Okay, good. So I don't feel guilty saying that.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys want to head over to djchef.com, that is the best way to get in touch with DJ Chef. He will rock your next event for sure. Sounds like a fun party. And anything else you want to close out? Let them know.
No, but thank you for having me on the show. If you want to drop me a follow on Instagram at DJ Chef Rocks, we can interact on there. My Instagram's really fun. Like I said, I post live stories from events, and we get a lot of interaction there, and we're always in touch. So just drop me a follow there, and I'm looking forward to the rest of this event here at the Oheka Castle.
Yeah, nice. We're going to go head into the other room. But guys, head on over to DJ Chef Rocks for the Instagram, and the website is djchef.com. I am your host, Gage. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thank you, DJ Chef, and we'll catch you next time.
All right. We'll be on his boat this weekend.
That's it. We'll go fishing.